The winter wind was howling loudly. Snow fell heavily onto the dark city streets. I stood outside a small, glowing bakery shop window. My hands were completely frozen. I wore an old, ragged coat with holes in it. I was an orphan boy and I had no home. I stared at the warm, golden loaves of fresh bread, my stomach painful from extreme hunger. Suddenly, the front door of the bakery opened. A kind-looking woman wearing a white apron stepped out. Her name was Mrs. Gable. Most shopkeepers threw dirty water at me to chase me away. I prepared to run into the dark alley. But Mrs. Gable did not look angry. She held out a warm, steaming pastry and smiled gently. "Come inside out of the cold, little one," she said softly. That single act of pure generosity saved my life. And 20 years later, I was going to return the favor. Let me tell you about that beautiful night. I slowly stepped into the warm bakery. The smell of sweet vanilla and cinnamon filled the air. Mrs. Gable gave me a hot cup of tea and a large bowl of soup. She sat across from me and listened to my tragic story. My parents had passed away the previous year. I had no relatives to care for me. "You can stay here with me, Thomas," she said kindly. "I need an assistant, and you need a family." From that exact day, my life transformed completely. Mrs. Gable became my protective guardian. She taught me the delicate art of baking bread. She also taught me how to read and write English properly. She worked incredibly hard from 4 a.m. every morning. She was well known in the neighborhood for her immense kindness. She often gave free food to poor families who were struggling. She always told me that true wealth is measured by what you give. 10 years passed quickly in the warm shop. I grew into a strong, educated young man. But our peaceful life was suddenly threatened. The city began to grow very rapidly. A wealthy, greedy property developer named Mr. Vance arrived. He started buying all the old buildings in our neighborhood. He wanted to demolish them to build luxury apartment high-rises. He offered Mrs. Gable a very small amount of money for her bakery. "This shop has been my home for 30 years, sir," she told him firmly. "I will never sell it to you." Mr. Vance looked at her with an arrogant, cold expression. "If you refuse to sell, I will make your life impossible," he warned. Soon after, our supply costs began to increase drastically. Mr. Vance used his corporate influence to block our flour deliveries. Mrs. Gable became deeply stressed, and her health began to deteriorate. I knew I had to leave the bakery to find a high-paying job. I needed to earn enough money to protect my second mother. With a heavy heart, I said goodbye to Mrs. Gable. I moved to a large industrial city far away. I used the hard work ethic she taught me to start a logistics business. I worked day and night without taking a single holiday. My small business grew into a massive, successful corporation. I became a wealthy entrepreneur, but I never forgot my roots. I never forgot the smell of the warm winter bread. Yesterday morning, I received a frantic letter from the old neighborhood. Mr. Vance had finally succeeded in forcing the bakery into a legal foreclosure. The auction for the property deed was happening this afternoon. I immediately called my private chauffeur and drove back to my hometown. I walked into the crowded city auction room just in time. Mrs. Gable was sitting in the back row, weeping quietly into her apron. Mr. Vance was standing at the front, smiling a triumphant, greedy smile. He placed a cheap bid of $50,000 for the building. "Going once, going twice," the auctioneer announced. $500,000. I shouted firmly from the back door. The entire room went completely silent. Everyone turned around to look at me in absolute shock. Mr. Vance's arrogant smile vanished instantly. His face went white. "Who are you? You cannot outbid me," he screamed angrily. I walked down the center aisle, looking sharp in my tailored black suit. "My name is Thomas, and I am buying this property," I said clearly. I handed the certified financial check directly to the auctioneer. The auctioneer banged his wooden gavel loudly on the table. "Sold to the gentleman in the back," he announced. Mr. Vance stomped out of the room in total fury and disgrace. I walked over to Mrs. Gable and knelt down beside her chair. I placed the official silver property keys into her trembling hands. "You saved an orphan boy 20 years ago, Mother," I whispered in tears. "Now, this bakery belongs to you forever. Nobody can ever take it." She hugged me tightly, her tears of sorrow turning into pure ecstasy. True kindness is an investment that always returns a beautiful reward. Hard work and love will always conquer greed. Vocabulary words used in this story. Generosity. Noun. The quality of being kind, plentiful, and generous. Asterisk guardian. Noun. A person who looks after and legally protects someone or something. Arrogant. Adjective. Having an exaggerated sense of one's own importance or abilities. Deteriorate. Verb. To become progressively worse in quality or health. Ecstasy. Noun. An overwhelming feeling of great happiness or joyful excitement. What a breathtaking and emotional ending. Thomas beautifully repaid the woman who saved his life. Did you enjoy practicing your English listening with this heartwarming story today? If this story brought joy to your heart, please smash the like button and subscribe to Daily English Stories right now so you never miss our daily lessons. Let's keep practicing our English. Go to the comment section below and write a short sentence using today's bolded word, generosity or guardian. I will personally review your sentences and reply with feedback. See you in tomorrow's story.